Lisa,
Yes, baby girl.
when I grow up, I want to be a WOMENACE to society.
Then so shall you be.
Hey, this is Lisa Landry. Welcome to A Menace to Society. I'm so stoked today. I'm speaking with Lars Freeman. Hey, Lars.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well today.
Thank you so much for talking with me and my listeners. I noticed your Instagram account. Your handle is Evolution of Lars. How did you come up with that?
Actually, my friend kind of picked my name for me. What about Lars as a name? We were throwing around some names, and I thought, oh, actually, I think she was kind of joking, but I was like, I actually kind of like that. So when I was picking the Instagram, I kind of was just like, well, evolving into this new person, like who I'm supposed to be, so I thought it was like almost like a whole evolution process of changing, so
So it all made sense.
yeah.
Do you pick Lars because of your friend? What was your name before? Do you mind me asking?
It was Laura. I wanted to stick with an L. She was throwing out names like, oh, what about Larry? And I'm like, no,
No.
that's too boring. What about, and she's just like throwing out like common names, and then she was like, Lars, how about Lars? And she was joking, and I was like, I actually kind of really like that, and it just kind of stuck, so.
It is kind of super cool. You sound like a ski person. Like you just
Something.
It's cool. And do you mind me asking, Freeman, did you legally change your name to Freeman as well, or is that your born surname?
No, that is my born name, so.
That's pretty rad when you think about it. It's like
I know, right? I always thought that too, and I was like, well, I wouldn't change that, because that's just like too perfect.
it is too perfect when you consider everything that, that you've evolved to be.
Right.
It's your destiny.
I guess so.
I feel like a lot of us are outsiders in our family, work situations, education. What's it like to feel like you're an outsider in your birth body?
It's a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I guess I can compare it to people maybe with eating disorders who look in the mirror and say, I feel fat, I feel ugly, any sort of dysphoria. It's just uncomfortable. You just don't feel like yourself. Nice now, where I can look in the mirror and say, I still have my moments. I think a lot of people who are transitioning, even 6 years, 8 years, they still sometimes look in the mirror and you just don't see what is really there. Like my wife could be like, you look so manly now compared to 8 months ago, whereas I still see sometimes the person I was 8 months ago.
Yeah, it's the evolution.
Yes, it's a whole changing process, so.
But that's got to feel very good after feeling like the image that you have of yourself doesn't match what's in the mirror or what you are supposed to do by society's standards. So I can imagine how discomforting that is.
Yeah, I used to have moments where I would have just complete meltdowns trying to just get dressed for the day, like a simple task of getting dressed. Like, what do I wear? I tried, to present as femme for so long, and it just was so uncomfortable. I would just put on, skinny jeans and a tight shirt, bra and makeup, the whole nine, and just, like, cry the whole entire time I was getting ready because it just didn't feel right. When I would wear dresses, I almost would say I feel like a drag queen because it just didn't look
Yeah.
right on me. It was just like so bizarre. And that was when I was, before my transition. So, and I didn't put it together as like, oh, I'm supposed to be a man. So, now that I actually transitioned and feel like a man, it's just so much better.
I think a lot of people, while we're empathetic toward not recognizing your own self and your own body, a lot of people can identify with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
right.
it is easy to identify with, I don't want to wear this to work again. I don't want to go and pretend that I'm doing this job I hate. I don't want to stay married to this person who hits me, but I'm going to pretend it's not happening. So I guess we all have, we all have our challenges of doing things and feeling like we're in the wrong place, wrong time, but soldiering through.
Of course.
And that would be a horrible way to start every day of your
Yeah.
existence. And every
It was, and I think that's why I self-medicated for years, is because that was the only way I knew how to deal with it.
Mhm.
And then I fell into addiction, and it just was this big cycle of trying to care, drinking, using drugs, whatever it was, just to ignore the real feelings that were there, because I wanted to present as, I guess what you would say, normal, in society.
As if there is a normal.
Exactly. What is normal?
It's a lie.
For sure.
Just be decent and happy. That's all you really. That's unfortunately not our normal, but hopefully we'll get there.
Absolutely. And then when I got sober, and I said this is the only way I'm gonna stay sober is if I come out as transgender, and if I lose family or friends, so be it. I just have to be happy. I have to be healthy. I have to live. So this is what it's gonna take to do that. That's what happened.
Were they supportive? Your birth family, were they cool, or did they?
Well, most of them. My mom is probably my number one supporter. She loves me no matter what choices, whether they're stupid choices, good choices. She loves me through them. She's been there along with my wife, they've both been there for all of my surgeries, and they've been at the hospital taking care of me. My dad, not so much. We used to be really close. And then when I came out as transgender, he's just kind of slowly, the communication gets, less and less. We don't talk on the phone anymore. We don't text. We sometimes email random things to each other, and that's pretty much, I feel like he's trying to stay in contact, but I think it's hard for him. But hopefully he'll come around.
Are they still married, your mom and dad?
No, they got divorced when I was probably like in 8th grade, so...
Yeah, so he's probably
having
a lot of guilt and maybe displacing emotions, sort of, kind of. I don't know.
I don't think he understands it. I mean, my mom, she's been in, the mental health field for years, whereas my dad, just business guy, and that's it. And he just doesn't communicate well. So who knows? I mean, my mom just seems to be way more accepting, which is totally awesome.
That is very awesome. I hope you and your dad grow closer as the years pass,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will. Hopefully. Can only hope.
It's cool, though, that he texts you sometimes, just random. That's cool. You're on his mind, and he's trying.
Yeah, at least I know he's trying. Baby steps, I guess.
Yeah, right? And how many years were you considering transitioning before you actually went through with a consult?
That's a tough question, because when I think back about it, it's like I almost always knew since I was little. Like, I dressed like a boy, act like a boy. It's funny because my dad would take me shopping for boy clothes as a child, so it's like, did you not see this coming? Or my mom was like, yeah, now that I think about it, like, I could have called Dad, I guess, but
we just thought you were a super dope tomboy.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe that's what my dad was thinking or hoping. Who knows? But
yeah.
I kind of always knew, but I guess when I really started to think about it was probably when I was in college. So probably 5 to 10 years before I actually went to a doctor.
So that's a lot of thought. And you mentioned that you were self-medicating too. That's a lot of pain as you were considering this for a decade. So it's not like you saw something on TV and thought, oh, this is hot, I'm going to do it too.
Right. And I think a lot of people too, like when I first transitioned, it was right around the time too where the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, and people were like, oh, it's just a fad, it's just because it's popular. And few people have said to me like, oh, is it because it's all over the TV? Is it because of Caitlyn Jenner? No, it's not. It's because this is how I've always felt.
Right.
And this is what I need to do.
Do you think that her coming out the way she did encourage others who were self-medicating, considering, wanting to find out more, to go ahead?
I think so. I think there's a lot of controversy about her in general.
Yeah.
But I think that if she and, a few other popular trans women, Laverne Cox, if they didn't do what they're doing or did, a lot of people still might be suffering in the closet. Because the more people talk about it, the more normal it gets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many years ago was it gay people, lesbians, gay men, you were seen as just, people didn't agree with it, I guess. And now it's just like, who cares? Who cares? Because that's the way it should be. Who cares?
Yeah. Is there anybody that you thought would be supportive of you transitioning that turned their back on you?
I guess probably my dad is the only person. Like, all my friends were great. been so lucky to not have many issues with coming out as trans. I guess the only one is like my dad, and he still sort of keeps in contact, so it's not even as bad as I guess others do have it, because I've known people, their whole family just doesn't agree, and they don't have any family anymore. Yeah, I would say him, my dad.
Aw, yeah, Daddy.
Especially because I think we were so close. Like, I mean, growing up, I was just attached to his hip. Like, I talked to him, texted him, called him almost every day. So now it's like maybe once a month, twice a month, we shoot each other an email, and that's about it.
Mhm.
So
Well, maybe he'll show up at your front door with a football and a cake for your wife.
yeah, who knows? He didn't come to our wedding because they had a trip planned already. So I was like, okay, thanks.
Wow. What about kids? Are y'all considering having kids? Maybe he could be there for the baby shower.
Yeah, no, we don't have any plans for kids. I've never wanted children, so I guess I get my moments of, oh, that would be cute, but then I just would be like, okay. But I like kids, but I just mostly want to give them back to their parents, hang out with them for an hour and give them back to their parents.
That's always fun too.
Yeah.
How long was your transition in process? Like from time that you went, and I should actually back it up. What was it like to go on that first consult with a medical professional that could help you make this transition? What did that feel like?
It was a lot of anxiety, and it was a lot of excitement at the same time, so it was mixed emotions. I think the anxiety was like, am I making the right decision? Like, is this going to harm my health? Is this going to be the right thing for me? And then the excitement is like, this is awesome. Like, I'm so excited. This is my first, step in the right direction. This is exactly what I need. So it's kind of, back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, anytime you go for a medical consult, I guess that's part of the package, right? And then on top of it, you are making this huge decision. And how long did it take? I mean, you're still transitioning, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be my whole entire life. So, I probably didn't start seeing any changes until like 6 months into it. So I do a shot of testosterone once a week. Some people do it twice a week, once a month. Works best for me if I do a lower dose every week. Tired one day and then real manic the next. So it just seems to be more stable that way for me. Everybody processes it differently, but I'll have to do these shots for the rest of my life as long as I want to keep, looking more manly. So first my wife was actually doing them for me because I had a bad experience doing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I made her start to learn, and then she would do it. But then I just started doing it myself again, and I'm like, yes.
Do you ever think about taking steroids? Would that be cheaper and easier to find? And then you could just...
It probably would be, but it's so dangerous because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, there's times where it's like, oh, doctors aren't going to cover it. My insurance won't cover it. Maybe we should just get it on the street. But that's just like such a stupid idea because you don't know what you're getting out there. You don't know. It's just too dangerous. Obviously, illegal too. But there's just more potential for abusing it. And this way it's monitored, especially for me coming from, somebody who is addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's all monitored. You can't fill it like a day early.
Do they have a lot of restrictions? Because I wouldn't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, it's a controlled substance. Mm-hmm. So they do, like, you have to, in order for me to even get on testosterone, it was a process of I had to go see a counselor, and they have to, do this evaluation test. Then the counselor recommends they have to write a letter. Yes, this is a good decision. It would, truly impact their mental health and their well-being. So they submit that to the insurance, and you have to go for, some people are different. I had to do at least 3 visits because my counselor was just like, yep, you definitely need to do this. Mm-hmm. Others, it could take months. I know people who have had to go to counseling for months just to be able to get that prescription. So
because they want to take their time with it to make sure that this is the right path.
Yeah, because there's things you can't reverse, so they just want to make sure, and then insurance will cover it if you've met all these requirements. Even for surgeries too, you have to get letters from counselors, from doctors, from Like, people think, like, oh, you can just go and, transition. No, it's not that easy. There's a lot of, like, hurdles and hoops to go through, so.
You can't just show up with a note from your mom and a...
I wish, because that would have been, like, a lot easier, because my mom's like, yeah, do it.
And are you happier now?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm more confident, I'm happier, and other people notice it. So, yeah, definitely was a really great decision for me to do. I couldn't be happier. And no more, episodes of depression or anxiety. I just feel like this is who I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you ever get into bar fights now that you're a dude?
No. Well, I don't go to bars anymore. So, I probably might if I was drinking. I mean, that could be a terrible mix for me.
I want to test these guns and my testosterone.
Yeah, even though my guns are more like string beans now, it's just like still the testosterone and alcohol probably wouldn't mix well for me. So
probably not. Well, alcohol's never a good thing, really. I mean, it is fun to imbibe, but it's not.
Right.
There's better ways to spend your time. Like smoking dope. No, I'm just kidding. So
in Colorado, that's what everybody does. So
yes,
although where we are, it's not legal recreationally. So
yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that, and I didn't know that myself. Certain counties are way more open than others in Colorado.
Yeah, so it's like Colorado Springs is a little more, I guess, conservative.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because Colorado does have this crunchy vibe and this crunch reputation, but a lot of Colorado is super redneck and roughneck.
Yes.
And you're in one of those places. So how do your neighbors?
Yes. We were very, very nervous about moving here.
Yeah.
Just because it tends to be more Republican and conservative. So we kind of were like, when we were talking about places to live, I mean, my wife said when we met, she's like, well, just so you know, I'm going back to Colorado at some point, if that's, something you want to do. She didn't want to keep talking to somebody who, potentially wouldn't move for her. So she lived in Denver, and I didn't really want to do such a big city. Mm-hmm. I really like the outdoors, so does she, so we kind of just Googled a lot of places. Colorado Springs seemed to have a lot of outdoors stuff to do.
It's beautiful.
Bigger parks, like it just looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. So we were like, okay, let's just do it. So far I haven't had any issues. My boss is super supportive. She knows that I'm trans. A few coworkers know that I'm transgender, and they're just like, oh, cool. Like, doesn't faze them.
Right.
So I haven't told, people that, like, my neighbors, because I don't really talk to them much, but it makes me nervous. They do seem a little more, like, rednecky.
There are a lot of cool rednecks, too, who are very accepting. I don't mean to put people into a category, but, like we're talking about, you do have these, oh, shoot, we're not in Greenwich Village anymore, moments.
Right. But I haven't had any issues. And it's kind of like, do they know or do they not know?
Right.
And I always think everybody just knows. And my wife's like, nobody has any clue. You pass. You're fine. And I'm like, no, I don't. They know.
Do you make more money now that you're a dude for the same work that women make?
I was just talking to my wife about that pretty recently. This is the most, I still don't make a ton of money. I worked in the mental health field for 10 years, and now I work retail at an all-natural pet shop. Mm-hmm. So I make more money doing that than I ever did, in the mental health field or as a female. But yeah, it was just I wonder if it's just she pays well, or if it's because I pass as male. I don't really know, but I was wondering that question as well.
We'll see in time.
I know, right?
Well, no, 'cause,
we don't make commission, so it's not it seems like I do make a lot of sales, but I don't get any commission off of it. But I'm just is it because I'm male or presented as male to them? Yeah, so it's a good question. I'll let you know if I ever figure it out.
Okay. Your next job, you'll be hired as the CEO of something.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the transition. I don't know that much about transgendered people. I know some people who are trans, but I don't know that much. And then you see these
Right.
things, you see these things, you read these things, you see these clips. And allegedly, some people who do transition, especially men who become women, get more depressed after. And I wonder sometimes, first of all, if that's true. And then secondly, I wonder if it's because women are treated so badly in this society that you've gone through all this pain and hardship, and now you look more like the woman you have identified with since you were younger, and you realize bitches ain't shit.
Right, exactly. And it's terrible because it's like, I think trans women have it so hard, and maybe that is why it's, that plays into their depression, because they get bullied. There's so many trans women are murdered every year, and the
Horrible.
numbers just keep climbing and climbing every single year. As people think trans men are accepted more than trans women. I don't know many trans men that have had many issues, maybe 2 or 3 out of like the thousands that are on my Facebook and Instagram, but it's always you see trans women, and it could be because, I don't know, men have this feeling of needing to feel so masculine and, I don't know, above women. I don't know. Not all men are like that, but it just seems like females are treated differently. And especially transitioning from female to male, I can see the perspective of both sides, like how I was treated when I was female versus how I was treated now that I'm male. It's just so different. It's like night and day. I used to walk down the street and guys would catcall at me, and it's just like, ew, no. Now you just don't get that. You get, a head nod, or
Right.
also, like, I'll notice too, like, I will be walking behind a female, and I can sense that female's like fear and insecurity, and just like looking back at me, like wondering if I'm gonna harm her, and that's just so sad. And it's just like, that's the society we live in.
Yeah, patriarchy isn't very pretty.
Right.
No slam on dudes that are straight, no slam on cisgender, whatever. Like, just the whole system we have in place is not a it's just not good.
No, and it's
unwell.
It's kind of cool though that I get to see both sides of that. And,
Yeah, I bet.
I just want to, like, when I see that happening, when the female is like looking back at me, like wondering, I just want to tell her, like, you're safe, you're okay. But
Yeah.
it's just a little creepy, so
Yeah, right.
I don't.
Well, this is going to be a creepy question, but I have to go there. You ever like look at another dude and nod and say things like, check out the cans on that one?
No, never. And you know what? I get so mad about it too, is because, like, I worked in a warehouse for like maybe like a week or 2 weeks, and I couldn't take it. I quit. That was one of the reasons I quit, is because all of the men would say things like that when the females would walk by, and it's like, put me in a position there where, do I tell them that's not okay to do, or do I go along with it? Well, I did neither, because I'm usually so shy, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here now and pretend you didn't say that.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where I should tell them, like, it's not cool.
Yeah.
But then it's also, I'm a small dude, so I don't want to put myself in a position where they, could harm me, so.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of men who are born men probably deal with that on a daily. Like, they don't want to go along with whatever kind of stupid chatter is coming out of their coworkers or their fellow students' mouths. But when you speak up, it's like you're not willing to put that woman in her place, so you're weird. So they will turn on you. I think a lot of men probably struggle with that. Like you're
I
saying.
think so too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're smaller in stature like I am. So.
Yeah. But you're growing a magnificent beard. Will you tell me about that beard oil?
Yeah. My wife made me a beard oil. She does natural body products, so it's all like natural essential oils. So the beard oil that she made me is for, stimulating growth. So I took a little bit of it, rubbed it on massaged it into my face every day, once or twice a day, but usually I tried to do it 2 times a day, but it usually ended up being just once a day, just because I'd forget.
That's how men take care of themselves, Lars. They forget to take care of themselves.
I know, right? Yeah, so I just did that once a day, rubbed it into my face, and then I took progress pictures, and I thought it was crazy how I guess it was about 3 months. It's a slow, like it doesn't happen overnight. I think everybody looks for that overnight fix.
America.
I think transgender people can understand that everything is a slow process, though. So it takes time, but it does seem to work. So we just sent one out, so I'm hoping to get some good feedback on the one that one of my friends bought.
Well, I've seen the photos on your Instagram, Evolution of Lars, and the results look fantastic. I mean, it's impressive. Is your wife an herbalist by trade, or is she just some sort of person
I think
who
she's
experiments?
just a magician. Who knows? No, she's always been into like natural health and taking care of yourself, health and wellness. So she has a business called Bloom and Thrive. So she'll like declutter people's houses. It's just the overall health and wellness, mental, physical. She teaches yoga, beginner yoga. Usually she likes to do one-on-one. And then she does body care products, so all natural, no chemicals, usually just essential oils, coconut oil, all that good stuff.
I'm going to have to invite y'all over to my next drum circle.
Yeah, she'll probably love it, so.
She sounds super cool. And the oil does seem to be working for you, so, whatever works.
I think a lot of trans men will use like Rogaine for their beard, but the thing is it has like potential side effects of like it does something to your heart. It can cause hair growth in places that you don't want hair growth, whereas like the essential oils, you put it on where you want that, and it's not going to harm you and just going to grow where you put it on.
Mm-hmm. I take maca for that reason. Do you take maca?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's Peruvian ginseng is what they call it. But if you're a woman, it boosts your estrogen levels. And if you're a man, it boosts your testosterone levels.
All right, makes sense. Makes sense.
I like all that herbal stuff myself.
That's why I eat a lot of ginger, because I heard it boosts your testosterone.
Really? I had no idea.
Yes, that's what I read once, but who knows if it's true, so don't quote me on that.
That's wild. That's probably why they named her Ginger on Gilligan's Island.
Maybe.
What other products do trans men use that I would not know about? Because I didn't know about this beard oil, and it seems to be remarkable.
I think it's just a lot of scar creams, just from
all the surgeries.
Having my top surgery, I have, really long scars along my chest, so it's always like I get insecure about that, like, does that instantly out me? And then my wife's like, guys have weight loss surgeries all the time, and that's what their scars look like. So scar creams are super important for me. I guess the beard oil was super important.
What products should be on the market for transgendered men?
More scar creams, probably. I have yet to find one that I, love.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife has not tried to make, or maybe we should talk to her about making that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most of my insecurities are like with scars, and I've seen a lot of people who are on Instagram, and it's super inspiring, and they're like, they just don't care about their scars. It's just part of them. So maybe it's just that I have to get there,
right,
rather than trying all these products. So
yeah, but no one likes scars. Nobody enjoys that. Well, just tell people you fell off your Harley, robbing a bank.
Make up some badass story.
Right. I was running from the cops. What would you tell young listeners if they're out there and they're curious about transitioning, they feel like they're not born into the right body, they're being bullied, maybe they're being ignored by their family or isolated by friends? What would you tell them? What advice?
Just that their feelings are valid. You are loved. It might not seem that way, but people out there do love and support you. It might not be your family, and that's okay. You will find other family. I mean, I think that's why Instagram is so great, is because there's so many supportive people on there. When you start accepting all these trans men, trans women, gender non-conforming people, it's just they don't judge you. I think, too, the internet can be kind of risky, too, because, people do bully people on the internet. But
really?
I feel like oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
Especially even trans men to trans men I've seen. And I'm like, guys, just stop. It's okay. Your feelings are valid. And you just have to be who you are. And I think that's really important. I think that's why I remain visible, because before I transitioned, I saw other people who were visible and comfortable and happy, and that was inspiring to me. So I want to be able to do that to other people. Like if they're questioning their gender identity, I want them to know like it's okay to be who you are.
That's very good advice, Lars Freeman. If you
That's
could,
good.
yeah, right. If you could plan a perfect day, or if you fell into the perfect day by luck, what would it be?
Probably hiking with my wife with lots of animals. My dogs, if they could behave well enough to go out in public, that would be awesome. So I'd have them not bark at everybody or everything they saw. Yeah, just be out in nature with my wife and loving on some animals.
That sounds like a fun day.
Right?
That does sound like a fun day. I hope you have that day today, tomorrow, someday soon.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you so very much for talking with me. I think you're fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for considering me.
I think you're very courageous. I think you're brave. And I hope that somebody listening who may be dealing with something is inspired by hearing you
I
share.
hope so too. That's my goal, and that's why I'm visible and open about, my transition, my sobriety. I put it all out there just because I hope that I can help somebody else, like somebody helped me.
Well, I'm sure you will, Lars. And I wish you and Miss Rosemary the best of luck. And please tell your lady love to get on that scar cream.
I will. I'll let her know.
I think you're fantastic and remarkable.
Oh, thank you.
Kimmy, my girlfriend has me in my head because I keep using the same damn words I keep using awesome, and I keep using all these different things. So I want to say that you're baller, but I don't want to offend you. Can I call you baller?
Yeah, that works. Baller works.
Okay.
Although I don't feel like I'm very baller, but
I think you are. And I wish you all the very best. And I hope we get
Thank
to talk
you.
in the future. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Lars. Good luck, my brother. And good luck to Rosemary, too. Thanks for listening, y'all. Please join me at lisalandry.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll know when every podcast drops each week. Or you can sign up for my newsletter, and then you'll get a free audio download. Shout out, Ari. You're my favorite little man ever.